All right. I have my physics board exam tomorrow. Yeah, I don't look serious at all. The main thing is I've never felt any seriousness the past 1 week or so. Might be because I'm still numb over my J main result, but again, if I am a mature person, if I'm someone who's ready to kind of take in hits tomorrow to land one, then it's necessary for me to kind of be mature with it and move on from it. But maybe that pain is still lingering, or just it's still hitting a lot because probably it's my first failure, first real world failure, as I would say. So it's not about me ranting over it about over and over again, or just talking about it. But yeah, that's just how I feel. I often look at people around me and they've gone offline, they've deactivated everything that they have, and I don't see them anymore roaming around my streets, my age people. And I often do think that it's because probably they're kind of studying for their board exam, and I haven't been able to do it properly. I mean, till last week. But I buckled up, and I knew that if I did not prepare, then it's no guarantee that you go and write and you get 95 or 95 plus, which I'm aiming or targeting. I think that because I've been in a coaching institution for the past 2 years and really preparing, so my targets should not be anything less than a perfect score of 100. Again, that is very tough, but again, it is believable, and at least that's what I'm saying, to kind of cope over it, because I have less than 12 hours for my exam and I'm kind of worried. But nevertheless, I have certain portions to revise. What I've done the past 3 days is just solve a lot of previous year questions of board. We have a FitG archive, board archive, and I've solved roughly 300 questions from that. And I've just focused on topics where I've felt a bit down. And my plan of action for the next probably 10 hours is going to be just not waste my time, not get distracted, which I really need to induce some seriousness, because before mains it was all about just me feeling anxious, will I ever qualify or something like that. And after mains now it's a complete polar opposite, which isn't a good healthy sign. We should always be a bit neutral, maybe a bit too much towards the right, or a bit too much to the left. Not too much, a bit to the right or a bit to the left, that would be ideal. But again, we're not ideal, we're not perfect, and here we are. Regarding both preparation, I've done quite enough, I guess so. And before that, I wanted to narrate a particular incident that might have possibly changed my life, but I'm not properly implementing it. And that is to live in the moment. And it's been 3 minutes, so if you're still watching this, just put things aside and listen to what I'm going to be speaking for the next few minutes, because it might just have a small impact on you. I watched this movie called as A Peaceful Warrior the past week on YouTube. It's free, and it it really I really related to it a lot, and I really kind of was mesmerized by the concept of the movie. I might have spoken about this in the past video. The story follows a gymnast who's targeting the next Olympics for him, because it's a kind of a fictional story, as well as there are incidents which are taken from the real life of Danny Millman, who is the author of the book called as The Peaceful Warrior. And he's a gymnast who's just kind of doing really good in life. You know what college life means in the US. At least he's he's rich, he's well settled, he has a career. Even if he can quit gym, if he can quit the gymnasium, right? So it's a figure of speech, that I'm not saying that he's going to quit. Okay, fine, you know what. But yeah, and he gets a lot of play, if you know what I mean. And well, that was not the purpose or intention for me to watch the movie, kind of was. But yeah, but what the movie says is you have to live in the moment. The opening shot is him doing a particular routine where he falls down and his leg shatters, and it just shatters into small pieces of glass, and someone is kind of scraping it away. And this represents the situation he is in. He's put in a lot of work. He's put in, a lot of hours training, practicing, refining his skills. But he thinks about that D-Day, which is the Olympics team selection. So that particular instant which he envisions, right, which he thinks about for the future, he thinks about it for a long time and he's unable to sleep. So he tries to, take his mind off of this, and he goes back to different places, just to clear his mind. And he starts jogging one night randomly, and he reaches a gas station where he meets an owner, and he's fascinated by the owner because there's a lot of supernatural incidents that happen. Not exactly supernatural, but there are certain things that the gymnast perceives in a way which is not supposed to happen in reality. For example, the owner levitates from one place to other, teleports from one place to another within a fraction of a second. So yeah, it's kind of confusing, the movie, till that point. But after that, we slowly get to realize the character of the gymnast. He can't sleep each and every single night. That is attributed to him being more and more or increasingly worried about the particular D-Day, which is the day of selection for the Olympic team. And he meets this gas station owner every day and he asks him for advice. And the one thing that the gas station owner keeps on telling him repeatedly is that you should live in the moment. You should present on the future, and you should only play with the controllables. And you should avoid the things that are not under your hand, or the things which you can't control with your strings. So he tells him that repeatedly, and he asks him to, just sit on the top of a car and, just think, look at the stars. He tells him to do certain things which are not perceived by the general public to be kind of sane. So he goes mad in this process. He tries to understand what the, owner kind of, the gas station owner asks him to do. And there are various instances where, he goes to the gym, he climbs on top of the what do you say, the floaters, and he sits on there looking, gazing down at the people down below, and he's able to perceive their thoughts. And he understands that he has a severe lack of confidence. And the other people surrounding him, though they pretend or portray themselves to be all tough, they all have their own soft, diminished, and timid sides, which they don't, kind of portray to the world. So at that point, the gymnast understands that each and every single person has their own insecurities and their own flaws, but they don't necessarily portray it outside towards the world. And that is where I think he understands the first lesson, which is to not exactly show your weaknesses, right? So this happens, and what happens is the gymnast, although he gets a little bit of, kind of understandings day by day, he feels frustrated by it. He feels frustrated by the training method of the gas station owner, who asks him to perceive things in a different way. So he says, YOLO, my life, my rules, F you, I'm going to go, go all alone, and I'm going to go all out. So he quits meeting the gas station owner, and one day he ends up, in a car crash. Not in a car crash, he goes in a motorcycle and he gets hit by a car and he shatters his leg. And the doctors say that there is, no possible hope for him to walk again in the next 1 or 2 years. So this is an absolute, kind of a avalanche towards his dreams, just this absolute mental breakdown that he starts getting or having, because he was in a point where he couldn't fulfill his dreams. And he goes into depression. He starts, he's unable to walk, he's unable to, just think of things normally. But he meets the gas station owner once again, and he says, I'm ready, because I've tried it in my own way, I've tried in the way that the others have told, and nothing has brought me, this kind of full control over my life, and now I'm practically worthless. He feels that. So after that, the gas station owner, he says that, just focus on the present. And for him, it is not to think about whether I'll start walking in the next 8 to 9 months, but rather it is to make improvements, small steps of improvements each and every single day. So he asks him to, start walking. The next 2 months, focus on walking. The next 2 months, focus on jogging. Things like that. And it starts to click. But there are various struggles that he faces throughout the journey of him going back to the gymnasium again. So the struggles are shown in a very beautiful way. And the reason why I've been yapping for the past 7 minutes about this story is because I've understood how much my preparation is related to my confidence. The one huge mistake which I did in 12th was not about academics or not about following this book or not about following that book. It was rather a lack of confidence, a lack of self belief that I had. I used to think that, if you are depressed, that means that you are secluded from the world, and your results are bound to go up, which is completely wrong. And I've understood that, kind of not taking all that pressure and taking all that stress is going to lead you to positive results. That is, kind of not taking all that pressure is going to lead you to positive results. So that is why, I've been a bit lively these days in terms of, just I've wanted to talk about this topic, but I felt like today was the right moment considering tomorrow's my board exam, and it might create a shock factor that, I'm recording this video instead of studying. But nevertheless, I should not have any regrets at the end of the day. But coming back to the topic, that's the end of the story. And after that, he goes to the gymnasium, he does really good moves, and he kind of gets selected into their national team, things like that, and the story ends. So it is to the moral of the story is to live in the present. It's to live in the moment, and that's what I've understood. That's what I feel like is going to propel me towards a better situation. I have to face it that, kind of, okay, fine, real life failure. I've achieved that. So I can't be cribbing about it every single day for the next or my entire life. I should take a step where, I maturely understand that, okay, maybe I've done bad. So there is a next attempt. I need that confidence within myself. I need that belief within myself. So yeah, I've been a bit pumped up about making this video. Even before this, I think I was in a stage of clinical depression where, I was not waking up from my bed. But for the past 3 4 days, I've understood that it is not worth it. So yeah, this is the message that I wanted to convey. And again, this is something that I wanted to log in and, capture the thoughts that I have right now, because tomorrow it is going to be effectively helpful for me if I'm ever in a situation where I'm down. So yeah, if you have seen this video, if you've come up to this point, just try to live in the moment. And do watch The Peaceful Warrior or A Peaceful Warrior. I'm not sure about the correct phrasing or the wordings. It's a really amazing movie. It is quite possibly changed the way in which I think. So live in the moment. Don't worry about other people's comments. And that's something that I need to, focus on. But that's again content for a next video, because I can't, really spill out all my ideas right now. So yeah, but nevertheless, just keep working on what you have right now. Keep focusing on the things that you have right now, and success is bound to follow you sooner or later. Sooner or later. Never sooner, never later, but sooner or later. I know it sounds a bit contradictory, but look into it. Think deep into it. It might not be, you put in effort, you get results immediately. Or it isn't going to be you put in effort, you're not never gonna get the results. It's gonna be either sooner than expected or later than expected. But never soon, never late, right? So yeah, I've been a bit energetic now, and I hope to keep this energy throughout. And to people who see me in real life, my classmates, if you're seeing this video, I might not be a bit energetic by the time you see me tomorrow, hopefully next day, because again, I'll get back into that depression mode for sure. But nevertheless, I have to, kind of keep working on. So yeah, until then, it's Project IIT signing off. Thank you.